Okay, let's see. Test, looks good. And we want that. There we go. I do know how to cast, miraculously. I can do it. I'm capable. Let me go announce the stream and such. Do I still have that? Does that work? Nope, that does not work. Not in the slightest. All right. Switch to live. Now. All right, there we go. Okay, we are waiting for the lobby link to be posted. Looks like it should be starting soon. All right, introductions. I haven't introduced anything. So, hello, welcome to season 19. Yes, season 19 special cast. For those of you who don't know, I, Xanthanarium, it is a long A, not a short A. Please get it right. I've been coaching both of these teams for a little while. Heavy Greg for like 3 seasons, Group Therapy for like a season and a half or something. I don't remember. And I wanted to do a little special cast here. Looks like the lobby link's been posted. I'm in. Hello, I am here to fight Greg. Where is he? Let me make sure that my server's set up. We don't want Spazoobs, we want Olyobs, and hopefully that works. Ooh. I don't think you need to restart the game for that. Well, we'll see. Hopefully my my in-game bit what do you call it, interface should work properly, and hopefully I'll remember all the free hotkeys. It's been a while since I've chosen to cast a game. I think the last game I casted was maybe a heavy Greg game. It might have been at the end of a season. I don't expressly recall, but yeah, I am excited to get back into the casting thing, the casting lifestyle. I don't know. That makes it sound like I'm going to be doing more than just this one. Our first map here is Towers of Doom, by the way. Let me find out what the map bans were. Let's see, who's the captain? Bird? Let me message Bird. And, oh, I need to open that up. I didn't even have it open. So this should work. I tested this out last night. Perfect, there we go. First game is going to be Towers of Doom. I haven't coached any of the teams in this season yet. I think I've done a couple of commentaries with them on some of their games they've played, but nothing super in depth. So I don't know what they're cooking here. It should be interesting to you as well as me, one would hope, to see what's in store tonight. I am very much looking forward. Yeah, Heavy Greg has had a pretty good season thus far. They have had, I think, almost an undefeated loss streak. We also do have the bans coming in here. Let's see, so first one here would be that one, BOE. Second, Greg ban Garden. And then, I suppose I should have done this before even going to the live stream. That's what, or to the best of 3 screen. That's what people usually do. But you know, I pride myself on not doing what people usually do, so and that's going to be first draft team 2, so it's going to be, oh, do I have them on the right sides? I don't think I do, actually. Nope, I don't. Swap team sides. Okay, that should work, though. Okay. Hopefully all of my audio is looking good and all that. Let me know in chat if I need to turn the game up or down, or myself up or down. I won't take offense, I promise. Even if you don't want to hear my seductive voice in your ears. But, yeah, we are about to get into things here. Let's see if this works properly.
Of doom.
Oh, okay. That was a black screen for a hot second. Woo! All right, getting into it. This is Heavy Greg with the first pick here. Strangely, on the top of the screen, it's showing that blue team has the first pick. That's a new one. So blue team on the first time, for the first time in HOTS history, is on the right side. That's right. You heard it here first. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what's going on at the top of the screen there. But we're seeing an immediate Zeratul ban out of Randy Newman there. Heavy Greg, I suppose. I shouldn't be assuming it's Randy unilaterally making all of the ban decisions, but yeah, I recall Bird being a pretty prolific Zeratul player. They don't want to see that tonight. And equally, I believe that's Randy Newman without the I. Randy Newman with the Y, I believe, is the Lucio player that they fear on the side of heavy group therapy. So, neither of those coming out. Very classic. Of course, these two teams have done their research. They are in the same Discord server as each other, so they probably know a thing or two about each other, it's safe to say. Anduin ban second for Heavy Greg is an interesting choice. Clearly that's something that group therapy's been prioritizing recently. Though I don't have all of their match history in front of me to cross-check against. That's certainly not an uncommon priority pick. And the second ban for group therapy is Dahaka. Classically strong pick on the map. You can always get an altar up top and then immediately brush Stalker down bottom, or vice versa. And you can also threaten the Sapper camps quite heavily with Dahaka, which is quite the possibility for early game momentum. So, Johanna first, out of Heavy Greg, is vanilla. I must say, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in you, Corrosive. You could have picked something more interesting. See, there's an interesting pick. Let's go. Tyrande. All right. Tyrande straight into the blind. We don't give a single... How much am I allowed to swear? I'm not sure. We don't give a single S or a D or an F. Any of those letters about the Johanna blinds. And Artanis, double auto attackers into the Johanna. Let's go. This is a draft. This is shaping up to be a game, indeed. But yeah, as much as I may be joking, Johanna is certainly a safe first pick, and indeed, it seems like it's already paid dividends, given the fact that Tyrande and Artanis both somewhat struggle into Johanna. I wouldn't say that they're a bad pick into Johanna, but Johanna does make it more difficult for them. So, Malfurion and Thrall in response to that. This is on the new patch. I almost forgot. The new patch was just pushed to the live servers yesterday. So if you're not aware, we had a couple of Thrall buffs, most notably here. Some Chen buffs, some Vala nerfs, and a buff to Strafe, and a couple of other things. A couple Mephisto nerfs, sadly. They finally figured out that they should be nerfing Lightning Reaction after 5-6 years. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, so Thrall is going to be a force to be reckoned with here, I have a feeling. He has some pretty significant stat increases rolled into this patch. But we're seeing a Tassadar and a Maiev ban. Tassadar is pretty much always a solid pick, I would say. It's hard to go wrong with Tassadar unless the enemy team is shaping to be incredibly divey, which this team is not that much thus far. And the Maiev sounds or seems like a bit of a target ban again.
We will forge a great
Maiev, of course, is extremely strong on the right hands. Phoenix and Varian on the left side. This is quite the interesting draft out of Heavy Group Therapy. They are not holding back anything here. I mean, they practically have 4 auto attackers now into the Johanna. It would be nice to see a Cassia pick. Sergeant Hammer, interesting. And Blaze. Blaze also has the auto attack speed slow. But yeah, Heavy Greg has a lot of tools here to deal with what Group Therapy's for. There it is. Okay. Well. We certainly have a game in front of us. Oh, and I've just realized, is that... Oh, that's supposed to be the screen. That's supposed to be the screen for the draft. Oops. I know how to cast, guys. I've done this before. Alright, whatever. That's the one for in-game. That's the one for draft. I know what my hotkeys are. I only set them up like 5 years ago. Alright. Yeah, so Murky is choice. Group Therapy is going all in on whatever they're trying to do here.
Prepare yourself.
Oh god.
Hero.
Oh, the interface did not load properly. I'm gonna have to relaunch the game. I'm so sorry for this. I don't think I can change this in here. Does that change anything? Nope. Okay, well. Yeah, I think I might need to update Aliobs. I don't remember.
10 seconds.
This also doesn't work. No. I might just run the default interface after this game, because I think this might be an Aliobs bug. But,
1.
Alright, leading into the game, we have one lone fish against the entire army of Heavy Greg. What will he do? He gets out alive for now. Spared the wrath of 1,000 CCs by his bubble. But, yeah, Group Therapy, it seems like, was expecting something that did not happen. They could have gone in on this wall. I think they could have scored a little bit of damage there, but clearly they rotated into the bottom lane because they were anticipating Randy Newman rolling up his big, bright yellow taxi cab and shelling their fort. Not happened yet, but certainly something that is likely throughout the course of this game. Both teams exchanging some blows, nothing too notable happening thus far. Murky is racking up that siege damage. He does have a fishy deal, so he's looking for those bribe stacks. Of course, he needs to successfully kill the minion waves with his pufferfish for those. We're getting a pretty heavy engagement in the bottom lane here. Hammer is up in mid, so Group Therapy can press their advantage here if they want to. Hammer, it seems like, is not sure of what she wants to do right now, but both teams, it looks like, going to be going on to their sapper camps shortly after the 1 minute mark. Fairly standard course of action. So, yeah, as far as talents go, Protector of Ire is definitely the most interesting one here. Most of the other ones looking pretty standard. Trolling Thunder out of the thrall. Looking like Varian bit off quite a bit more than he could chew, and Artana swapped the hammer onto him. That was very close to disaster that just happened there, but somehow Group Therapy gets away with that. Yeah, Varian seems forgot that he's not a real hero yet. He didn't know. And he nearly died for it, but he now has his level 4 online. Varian, of course, as I'm sure we're all aware, relies heavily on his ultimate ability. As a hero, he gets a lot of stats out of it, and he gets it at level 4 as opposed to every other hero in the game that gets it at level 10. So, we do have Taunt online now, and this team has a lot of consecutive crowd control that they can apply to people, should they catch anybody out of position. Because we can go a taunt into a swap into a Tyrande stun, or a taunt stun swap, or what have you. They are not, however, going to have that much burst damage to follow up any of that prolific CC until the late game. once Phoenix gets his ultimate online and his giant killer, they can threaten the red team a lot more here, but in the early stages of this game, they're going to struggle to find any kills. And indeed, it seems both teams that's going to be true for. Of course, Sergeant Hammer is also a scaling hero, notably. It looks like Blaze managed to... Oh god, I can't see the... We can't see this... Oh, it's so scuffed. Anyways, I believe that Blaze managed to steal that altar. It may have been Murky who got it, though. It's quite hard to say. Both teams, however, are going to be contesting the bottom objective here, and once Heavy Greg gets all 5 of their people in on the point, it's going to be quite hard for Group Therapy to contest it, at least in the early game. Murky, of course, notably not a very good hero at team fighting at all. Although once he gets his ultimate, he can do some cheesy shenanigans that occasionally pay off. So in terms of the Soak game thus far, if I can find the right tab, it looks like Murky is beating out Blaze slightly in the Soak, but on the whole, Heavy Greg has absorbed more XP than Group Therapy. And I believe that that's also because of the Sergeant Hammer sometimes taking up that mid experience there. Looks like Murky's going to steal a camp, though, and that's going to bring the XP lead down quite a bit. Both teams are fairly close to each other in XP right now, with Heavy Greg maintaining that slight advantage still. But yeah, we're going to need to see how both of these teams scale and which one scales better to actually see who can win in the late game. But both teams have been playing quite cautiously. That is the first death apart from Murky. Artanis finally bit off more than he could chew and went down to the shells of the taxicab. The taxicab has a very scary artillery cannon on it. I don't know who managed to get that past the ATF. But yeah, it looks like Heavy Greg is going to take the first fort in this match here. So they're going to get control of the bottom fort here just before the first objective, or the second objective rather. And that's going to be a pretty significant advantage for them leading into this, especially seeing as that's also going to coincide with them getting level 10. So Heavy Group Therapy really can't do much here to contest this objective at all, or this sapper camp. Both things are going to go very easily to Heavy Greg, although I do believe that Group Therapy should be able to keep the sapper camp from going into their core. One would hope. So I believe I can, yeah, I can look at the health, the health of the cores manually over here. I can provide real-time live updates with the stat panel. But yeah, while their core has dropped to 23 health, they're still in the game, and they still want to try to fight this here in the bottom lane. Artanis still going for those stacks wherever he can get them. He wanted to try to swap Sergeant Hammer into the death zone, but wasn't quite able to go far enough. Sergeant Hammer is going to use the BFG to secure that kill, and Varian along with it. It's worth noting, Heavy Group Therapy still hasn't reached level 10. They did manage to keep those sappers from going into their core, but Heavy Greg still is at max HP on their core, still maintaining a heavy lead in both core damage and experience. They've managed to maintain that level lead, even though I thought that Group Therapy might be able to make that up. But looks like Murky's going straight in on the hammer. They're throwing everything at her. They throw the purification beam and the planet cracker. Sergeant Hammer was not ready for any of that. Oh my god. I just witnessed a murder happen in front of my eyes. The fish in a dark alley. Sergeant Hammer thought that she had the streets of New York to herself there in her taxicab, but no, the cabbie just got destroyed by an orbital cannon. Looks like Artanis is also going to go down here, but he's going to get Randy Newman for it. And if Plantfax and Moby-Wan can survive as well, they will stand a good chance of winning. However, it looks like they've run out of steam on the side of Group Therapy there. The Wangwin and Plantfax were not able to keep up with Moby-Wan, unfortunately. Quite a sudden showing there, but yeah, it was not enough to secure those objectives for them, unfortunately. Heavy Greg wants to go for the 40-0 victory here. And, yes, Kristen, I'm aware that the health bars are doing that. The health bars are not supposed to be doing that. I did not expect the health bars to be doing that. And everybody is displeased about the fact that the health bars are doing that. But we're blowing the Purification Beam early. We didn't have Octograb up there or Planet Cracker. Both are nearly off cooldown. But looks like Group Therapy just wanted to intimidate Sergeant Hammer a little bit there before this Sapper Camp fight. Murky is going to get here before Blaze, and if he can get a good Octograb, it might be big. It does not look like he will, though. Unfortunately, Murky's going to go down before he accomplishes much of anything. And the Planet Cracker is going to be quite scary on the camp, but they have 3 bruisers there. Well, 2 bruisers and a tank are all slapping Varian in the face with their hammers and flails and assorted weaponry. But yeah, so that's going to be another Sapper Camp going over to the side of Heavy Greg, and indeed, they are going to recapture this bottom fort once more.
Red team.
Looking up towards the top side of the map, it looks like Heavy Group Therapy should all be intact in time for the objective. They can at least contest their side here. Their core, live update from the field, 13 HP on the core. In case you didn't know, you can click the core to see the health. Murky is going to go down, but he does have his egg right here. And Murky's special ability, in compensation for the fact that he dies in half a second, is the fact that he also respawns in half a second. So Murky wants to accomplish something. He wants to get that Octograb value, but he's been chunked very low, and he is going to struggle to accomplish much of anything in this fight. He does have Hammer in his sights, but he is not going to go in on her. That Purification Beam did do a lot to her from the Artanis here. But Phoenix is unfortunately going to get caught astray by a Blaze in a dark alley. And it looks like that's going to be at least 3 members going down. Uga, it looks like, is going to narrowly make his escape. Is he going to try to stall the objective? No. He's not that bold. Not so bold enough to just throw his life away for another 3 seconds on the objective cap. But yeah, Heavy Greg is going for the throat here. They want to end this game right here and now. And unless Murky manages to pull off the Octograb of the century, they are going to secure it. The boss is going to fire all 4 of its shots into Heavy Group Therapy's core, and the Murky Planet Cracker Purifier Beam Octograb strategy is not quite going to pan out. But it was a bold attempt, and frankly, who really won this game when you think about it? I'd like to think that it was the team that got their strategy to successfully kill Sergeant Hammer. That's who I'd like to think really won this game. At any rate, looking at the post-game statistics, I can talk while we wait for the next game. I'm also going to relaunch my client here shortly. But looking through these statistics real quick, looks like Murky did manage to accomplish quite a lot of siege damage and soak for his team. But, of course, he died 4 times. You can see that his quarter death multiplied up by 4 there, up to 1 death. One whole hero he died as that game. At any rate, the stat differential here is pretty clear from the healing perspective and from the damage perspective as well. Both Johanna and Sergeant Hammer contributed quite a lot that game. Even though Phoenix did manage to hold his own, he was a talent tier down for quite a significant percentage of that game, but he still dealt quite a lot. And I believe that, I recall PlantFax is pretty commonly gravitating towards Phoenix player. Anyways, I do not want to hold up the teams for the next game here any, so I am going to relaunch my client promptly. We'll swap not that one. That one is what we want. And we will see what the next map pick is here presently. Hopefully, relaunching the client should make those health bars at the top of the screen get fixed. I'm Sorry about that. Exactly covering up the Towers of Doom health bars. But only one of those health bars was relevant, so... you didn't miss too much on that front. But yes, we are going to revert back to the default observer for the purposes of this cast. I'll try to get Olyobs fixed in the future. Should I cast another, which I imagine I will. Okay, so the observer interface is set to default. We should be good to go. Is there a lobby yet? There is not. Okay. So, as we wait for the teams to decide who picks first and who picks the map and what the map is to be picked, that was certainly a fun game. Now, I don't believe that I've explicitly mentioned this yet, but group therapy is, I believe, on the lower end of the bracket for this season. And they clearly wanted to go for something special in that game. Whether or not it panned out was another question entirely, but they did manage to accomplish something special. And if nothing else, I believe that that was a fun game for both teams, as well as for you and for me, hopefully. But looks like our next map is going to be Volskaya Foundry. Going to come into the lobby. And as we prepare for this second game, yeah, we can reminisce over that one time that Murky octograbbed a Sergeant Hammer in mid. It was truly a wondrous time by all. But yes, group therapy has had a fair few roster changes recently, and they are still getting used to that, acclimated with the new team. Looks like group therapy picked Volskaya here. Oh, I also forgot. I do have to do that, and then that. There we go. The teams are debating if that was the first Murky pick in Div C this season, and Bird said that he hopes so. And I hope so as well. I hope so as well. At any rate, yes. So Heavy Greg has grown quite a lot, I believe, as a team within the past few seasons. They finally managed to get some of my lessons through their thick heads, their thick skulls. They drilled them through, and they played that game pretty cleanly, I would say. The objectives were handled well. The sapper camps were handled well. And overall, that was a pretty strong showing by them. We shall see what else Heavy Group Therapy has in store for us this night. Hopefully there are even more spicy picks on the way. I'm looking forward to it. But yes, we are waiting for the players to join the lobby. So first pick is going to go to the side... Did I do that wrong? Wait, did Heavy Greg have first pick last game? I might have done... I think that when I swapped the sides, I don't think that the pick swapped with it. Anyways, I'm not 100% sure if that's right, but I think it is. Alright. Anyways. As the players struggle to make it into the lobby, we can... ponder what else we might see. Now, I did say that, of course, Chen was buffed in this past patch. I'm not sure if that's something that either of these teams play, but if it is, I would certainly enjoy seeing it. I've been an unabashed Chen enthusiast, unashamed and unafraid. Ever since his rework, Chen is a very fun hero to play, in my humble opinion. And frankly, I don't think that they needed to buff his 1v1 talents, but they did, and he is strong. I haven't gotten to play more than one game with him yet, but he feels quite good to me. I imagine quite similar to how Thrall feels. So, If we see the Thrall again, we will have to see how that pans out. He did contribute a lot in that game. He also wasn't under that much threat for much of the game. Unfortunately, they weren't really able to lock him down for an extended period of time. And so much of those buffs, of course having to do with his health and healing and all of that, weren't necessarily impactful there, but we shall see if that changes here. The teams are just about ready to get into the games. The game even. Only one game is happening at this moment. In this lobby, at least. With these players. But yes, Angelo, the Octolaser was elite, Planet Grabber, Octocracker. I mean, you have to incorporate the Purification Beam as well. That was an integral part of that kill, so has to be the oh god, I'm really coming up dry here. The Planet Beam Grabber, I think, is what we're going for. Or Octocracker, Purification Octocracker, I don't know. I'm sure that livestream chat can come up with better names than I can. Alright, I'm going to use the correct key this time to go into the draft. And the screen will definitely work. There we go. Oh, my OBS is playing mind games with me. So, Zeratul ban yet again out of Heavy Greg. They do not want to allow Bird to play it. Quite understandably. I haven't checked his profile in some time, but I believe that his Zeratul is like 50 levels higher than everything else. If I'm not mistaken. Same for the Lucio again, but we do alter the Anduin ban to a Zul'jin this time from the side of Heavy Greg. Zul'jin is quite strong on this map, generally speaking. Zul'jin, of course, excels on maps where he can brawl a lot, can sling axes at the enemy team. Mei is an interesting ban as well. I believe Corrosive did used to play a lot of Mei, especially when Heavy Greg was starting out. They used to really like relying on the ice wall to set up their engagements, but I do not know how much Mei he's been playing this season. Of course, if they deemed it worth banning, likely quite a lot. Johanna first pick again out of Heavy Greg. And Blaze this time out of Heavy Group Therapy. They do not want to allow it onto the other team. Blaze did receive some minor nerfs this patch, so his Incinerator Gauntlets are dealing less damage than they used to, and his Flame Stream can no longer trigger the Crossfire bonus on buildings, which is an interesting nerf because probably 90% of the people who play this game didn't even use Flame Stream for that, but Liam did, Hazawabs did, a bunch of the pro players loved doing that, and Blaze can't do that anymore. Uther's second pick outside, or out of the side of Group Therapy. And Tyrande being taken as well for Heavy Greg. May perhaps imply that Tyrande was a deny pick last game because Uther has already been picked here. But, yeah, this is both sides fairly heavy CC. Well, more CC out of the side of Group Therapy here, but Johanna, of course, does have her blinds as well. Vala, as I mentioned earlier, also got hit in this patch. A minor strafe buff, which is interesting, but Hatred now decays sooner, and, or drops off, I suppose, doesn't decay. And Manticore deals less damage as well. So, both of those direct nerfs to her auto-attack build, although Hatred does affect essentially every build. So it should be interesting to see if Synthesis is feeling the pain this game with those nerfs. Hogger and Muradin bans. Hogger, always a solid ban. Muradin sounds like a target ban. But yes, we have a pretty beefy, a very beefy team coming out of Group Therapy here. And very CC. They love their stuns. They cannot get enough stuns. They say hello. Hello, HOTS department. Do you have any more stuns? HOTS janitor, can you please put more stuns into the game? We need more stuns for our game against Heavy Greg. Oy, oy, oy. Next you're going to tell me they last picked Diablo. This is also shaping up to be a very spicy draft from them. Nazeebo and Malthael from the side of Heavy Greg. Nazeebo is a bit of a niche pick on this map. He does sometimes see play. And Kel'Thuzad, interesting. Interesting. Kel'Thuzad and his 4 beefy, big muscle friends are here to help him land the chains that will lead to victory. There's quite a few swaps going on here as well. Don't know if you caught it. We're still swapping. Down to the last second we're swapping. But it looks like we're sticking with plant facts on the Imperius. Miz on the Anub. So yes, Nazeebo is a pick that you do occasionally see on this map, by dint of the fact that Nazeebo does tend to play well on any map where he reaches level 20. And if any map does that, it is usually Volskaya. Volskaya or Garden of Terror. So we'll see how much value they can get out of the Nazeebo this game. But certainly, Vala and Nazeebo are heavily threatened by the heroes that Heavy Group Therapy is bringing to bear here. They are not going to have the easiest time ahead of them. Is that the... Oh my god. Everything's messed up. I have the wrong observer, so everything looks slightly off. But this is better than last game, at least. We don't have the gigantic health bars obscuring important information here. Even if the talents are slightly overlapping with the team names. But yeah, looks like we're having an almost murkied again. Looks like we're almost having another murky game. Bird apparently has his preferences. None can deny that. None can deny. But yeah, Uther is also going to have a bit of a hard time keeping his team alive into the enemy team. Imperius can sustain himself quite well, as can Blaze. And so, with any luck, they'll be able to make up for that. But Corrosive is getting dove very hard here, and he does not like getting hit with 10 consecutive stuns. Few people do, it turns out. And Heavy Group Therapy wants to keep going. They're out for blood. They want to just keep stunning people. They drafted the stuns, they're here to use them. Synthesis trying to snipe plant facts there, but Miz comes to the rescue. Blaze is going to be going into the bottom lane, along with half of the enemy team, while Nazeebo is in the top lane. We are doing some interesting maneuvers here. Plant Facts wants to try to gank this Nazeebo, but he's changing his mind. And he's changing his mind again. He does want to gank Nazeebo. He has 2 people here with him, but it looks like Nazeebo is going to get out, ultimately. Imperius wanted to prioritize the soak over the Witch Doctor. Nothing too interesting going on in the bottom lane. Blaze was doing his typical fire thing as well. Malthael double soaks. Very, very classic. Neither team rotating onto any camps yet, and while we have a moment to ourselves, we can look at the talents. So, Vala did go for that auto-attack build, in spite of the Manticore nerf and Hatred nerf. Still believes that it's worth going for here, and I would tend to agree into a team as beefy as that. Thing of the Deep from Nazeebo, so no Corpse Spiders this time. But he does want to play as safely as possible, of course, with that extra attack range. He does not want to get speared by Imperius, nor charged by the Blaze, nor spiked by the Anubrak, nor hammered by Uther, if he can avoid it. As would I, were I in his position. I would not be a fan of any of those things happening to me. Imperius is going to manage to score a decent amount of damage onto him here. Also debating his level 4. He doesn't quite know which one he wants to go for here. He goes for the Sovereign Armor. But yeah, pretty typical picks out of everybody. Q build out of the Uther here. So he wants to get that holy shock value likely. Want to follow up on kills and keep himself alive. But yeah. Fear the Reaper as well from Malthael, so not going for that that map-wide presence, but rather the team fight advantage. So, as we go into the middle portion of this game with the first objective spawning, Heavy Greg does have once more a... Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Heavy Greg does have once more a slight XP lead. And, do I not have... Okay. My hotkeys do not work. Whatever the XP lead is, we'll have to just guess. Imperius wants to get Nazeebo up here, but he does not have the adequate follow-up to ensure that kill so close to the enemy gates. However, KTC Kel'Thuzad is stacking his quest quite sufficiently here. I can't even see the dang quest progress. It's a very sad state of affairs here with the default game over their interface. Very sad state of affairs here indeed. I will certainly be fixing Aliobs after this game. Looks like Nazeebo finally had his sordid past catch up to him as the entire blue team chases him out of top lane and straight into the graveyard. Group Therapy does also want to go for the objective here. In the interim, while they were chasing that kill and grabbing their mercenary camp, Heavy Greg did manage to capture 99% of the objective. But if Group Therapy can hold it for an equivalent amount of time, and then that one extra tick up to 100%, they will claim the first big robot. The robot will go down the lane, it will hit the enemy buildings with its hands, it will laser. Synthesis will run behind his fort, and Nazeebo will zombie wall the Unubarok, and the Protector will likely die almost immediately. At least in the early game. Chim Chim is trying to solo gank Plantfax here, and Plantfax is having, quite frankly, none of it. Now, Unubarok may have been caught out, but oh, Plantfax is going to get a double spear hit there, and he is really chunking them. Of course, Vala in return is dishing out her fair amount of damage. She wants to give them their just desserts. If they want to kill their Malthael, they're going to have to lose the blaze for it. That's what Synthesis is saying. Miz goes in again, once more on Composite Santa, but he does not have anybody with him to help out there. And with that decisive kill on the blaze, forcing the enemy team off the objective, Heavy Greg is going to claim the first Protector. And it's going to run down the middle lane. It's going to hit the tower with its big fists, its meaty hands. It's going to shoot its laser guns at all the enemy team as it walks in circles, debating which lane to go down. And it looks like Synthesis is going to take it bot here. Playing for Objective C, possibly. This was an old tactic. Back from the HGC days of yore. You would take the robot down into the lane where the third objective spawns in order to prepare this lane for when this control point activates. Whether or not that was a conscious decision on their part, I could not tell you, but Plantfax nearly manages to kill Composite Santa again. Not quite, not quite. But he's certainly making him afraid. Striking fear into the hearts of his enemies is something Imperius excels at. And Bird wants to get more stacks. He's not going to get the full combo on Chim Chim.
Well done.
But I do believe that he does get a stack for hitting the center W hit on an unstoppable target. I'm not 100% certain, but I think he does. So, a couple more stacks for Kel'Thuzad, sitting at 11 right now. Close to unlocking his Glacial Spike, but not very close to his major damage boost that he gets when he completes it at 30 stacks. 30 stacks is what he's waiting for, 30 stacks is what he wants. Unubarok is hallucinating people in bushes, and both teams are grabbing their camps. Now, that is going to be a siege camp grabbed by Chim Chim here, much earlier than this camp might be for the side of Group Therapy, but they might also kill him for it. They certainly want to, again. They want to pile on 30 abilities in a row, but Chim Chim is having none of it. He does get abducted by Imperius, but that is unfortunately going to take effect after Imperius' entire team dies, and it looks like that's going to turn into a decisive victory here in the middle lane for Heavy Greg. They're likely going to claim at least one fort out of this. The siege camp in top may make that too as well. But Vala here exploring the jungle, seeing what sites there are on the frozen wastes of Volskaya Foundry. And indeed, it does look like both top and middle forts are going to be going down on the side of Heavy Group Therapy. Top fort may get saved, but it seems unlikelier and unlikelier each passing second. In addition to that, Heavy Greg is going to capture the Biotic Emitter, which was classically always the #1 thing that you would play around on this map in the, again, HGC days of yore. The Biotic Emitter is a hefty heal for your team whenever it's placed, and they might be wanting to use it here to invade the camp of Heavy Group Therapy. They do have a talent tier advantage here, and they want to try to make use of that to capture this camp. They may not even need the Biotic Emitter at all with that talent tier advantage. bringing plant facts down so quickly and so early made for a easy camp steal from them, despite the fact that Anub'arak did use Cocoon to turn that into an even fight. It was not even enough. Pressure in both the top and mid lanes. Nazeebo using his ultimate to try to get this wall here. But Blaze wants to assassinate him for it, and we're going to have the jet propulsion into the Celestial Charge. His team is coming to help him out, but I don't know if they're going to be in time. And indeed they are not. Now, the entirety of Heavy Group Therapy did all stack on the same pixel to get that kill, and it's going to be very hairy for them to disengage from this. Looks like the Divine Shield is going to be used to help Imperius survive just a little bit longer, but with Vala still alive and kicking, he's not going to have an easy time staying alive, and neither is Uther, it turns out. Tapping just the fountain there, that 2-minute cooldown just before the Malthael trait killed him. Very sad. If he'd gotten 1 tick of healing from that healing fountain, I believe he would have survived there, but not quite. So that's going to be 3 people going down once more on the side of Heavy Group Therapy. They are bleeding Heavy Greg for this. They are bleeding them. They're getting more kills than they did last game, 4 as opposed to 8 here on the side of Heavy Greg. And it's certainly not an easy road for Heavy Greg to win this game. They do have to fight for every inch. Group Therapy will not give up a single inch of this map without bleeding them for it. Most commendably so. But as we move into the second objective phase, Heavy Group Therapy is not going to be able to prosecute that objective much at all, because they are now 3 levels behind, unfortunately. The past couple of fights have cost them quite a lot of XP on the map, and that's going to mean that while Heavy Greg has the run of things, and they're able to grab their turret, their little flying gun guys, what are these guys? Whatever those things are, and the objective, Heavy Group Therapy is going to try to take a fort for it. A most wise maneuver. And that's going to be an Imperious Abduction right after the Anub'arak CC. KTZ wants to kill Vala, and he's going to barely manage to do it, but only at great cost. Once more, Heavy Greg pushes them quite heavily. Now, he might be able to get more value here with another combo coming out just before Imperius dies. They are 3v3 here. Johanna's in the Protector, and we do have Bunker available. With the Glacial Spike, he may have been able to get a kill there, but sadly he missed the chain there narrowly. They can still choose to fight either in middle lane or bottom lane, and it looks like they're choosing the former. But, yeah, taking out Vala there was quite fortunate for them. It gave them a lot of experience, catapulted them up to level 15. And Heavy Group Therapy may be able to stay in this game up until level 20, and hopefully up until that Master of the Cold Dark completion. However, he's not going to get one bit closer while he's dead for 40 seconds, unfortunately. The Triglav Protector did manage to snipe him down there. Most unfortunate for him. And while they are going to manage to defend their keep here, that is not going to be a team fight win for them. And they may, in fact, lose their keep. It's going to at least take a lot of damage here. Imperius wants to hit level 16. Most admirable. A commendable trait in your offlaner when they offlane. Although, of course, they do have 2 offlaners here, and Blaze is the main one. Imperius is really a DPS here. But at any rate, Heavy Group Therapy salvaging what they can. They are finally at level 16, reaching talent parity with Heavy Greg for the first time in several levels. And they want to defend this middle keep. They do not want to give it up for free. As I said, they want to bleed Heavy Greg for every inch that they take in this game. And while Heavy Greg is going to attempt to invade their turret camp, I do believe that Group Therapy wants to defend it. They do not want to give this up for free. Nazeebo is not here, and that means that with the Cocoon, this is now a 5v3. This is a 5v3 fight, where Malthael is going to go down immediately to the Imperious Spear, and we still have Wrath of the Anjuras up. Now that's going to be a lot of damage coming out from both Vala and Nazeebo. Team-wide damage, absolutely destroying the health bars of the side in blue here, and unfortunately, as mentioned earlier, Uther is going to struggle to keep his team alive in these fights. He may go for something big, like the Area of Effect Divine Shield, if he can hit all 5 of his team, or even just 2 or 3 might possibly even make a big difference. But the Area of Effect Divine Shield may be the key to victory here. We'll have to see. With any luck, Heavy Group Therapy will make it to 20, and we'll get to see their full plan come into effect, with all talents online, and Kel'Thuzad fully stacked and Master of the Cold Dark. Hopefully that will come to pass. We shall see. But once more, the Biotic Emitter, I believe for the third time this game, getting taken by Heavy Greg. And while Heavy Group Therapy did manage to execute a most admirable fight down here on the turret camp, they did not quite manage to pull ahead. But they have reached a point where they're somewhat stable. Somewhat stable. Now, they are down level 20 talents, which are typically the most strong talents in the game. And they also want to fight while Malthael isn't here. If they can get a fast fight here that wins them anything, it would be the last chance that they would get to take an even fight before level 20. But unfortunately, they weren't able to synchronize their abilities there in order to take down any of the members of Heavy Greg before Malthael got there. And once Malthael got there, it of course spelled doom for Kel'Thuzad. Whether or not Heavy Group Therapy can hold here is in doubt, but their death timers are still relatively short. They will be having Imperius rejoining the battle here in a scant 20 seconds, but I don't believe that that's enough time. Vala and Nazeebo both have extremely strong siege damage here on the core. And this core is going to go down like a sack of bricks. Uga is going to do everything he can. He's going to charge around, throw oil at them. He's going to try to flashbang them with his incinerator gauntlets, his big fiery fists. Try to blind them. Try to intimidate them off the core, but it's not going to work, unfortunately. And that is going to be victory once more going to the side of Heavy Greg. And that will cement their victory in this best-of-3 series. Well played by both teams. Heavy Group Therapy certainly did not go down without a fight. And I approve of the various stratagems that they deployed to try to stop Heavy Greg here. Either of them, I believe, could have worked if they had been slightly more experienced at the execution. And in the coming seasons, I hope that they will be. I certainly expect it. I expect nothing less. I will go for an interview here, if I can. Let us see. What would be the right casting lobby? Is that where we want to go? No, not that. We want to go here. Lobby 2. Lobby 2. I will ping. Lobby 2. Oh, actually, I can... Wait, why would I go in there? I can go in here. I'm right here. Team to voice if you want an interview. And all right, so we will see if any members of Heavy Greg would deign to join us here for an interview. In the interim, as we wait, we can review some of these stats. I don't believe that... Oh, I did not hear you join.
Snuck up on you there, sorry.
That was very loud. And corrosive as well. Excellent.
Hey.
Is it just the two of you then?
Randy, Randai was supposed to be here. I don't know where he went.
Randai, okay.
He's in NGS for some reason.
I was also in NGS for a minute, so he may have seen me there. He may have seen a ghost. Can I, No, I probably can't. Anyways. While we wait for him to
They're
arrive...
30 seconds when stream catches up, so...
I mean, I did type it out in your guys' special chat channel for the express purpose of avoiding confusion.
I'm gonna go. Hey, there he is.
There he is. All right, we have
There he is.
3/5 of Heavy Greg here, or 3/6 possibly. I don't know. You can do the math yourself. And they are here to tell us what all has been happening in the season. How have you guys felt this season? I haven't caught up with you guys that much.
Pretty good overall.
Pretty well. Mm-hmm. It certainly has appeared to be so from the outside. What were your thoughts going into this game with heavy group therapy?
Get 1 point.
Well,
That was it.
Yeah, we needed 1 point
Yeah.
to get first place.
true.
Of course. It's a bit of a shame we didn't see the Zeratul come out from Bird then, but I suppose in lieu of that we got very interesting strategies.
We were shocked. We were worried. Wait, what's going on?
Yeah, true. Yeah, we definitely were scared of their Zeratul, so we made sure we banned that every game because I think their Zeratul is quite strong. So we weren't sure what
Yes.
to expect once we banned the Zeratul, because they always give interesting teams, and they're always fun to play. So yeah,
Yeah,
they seem like a fun team.
It certainly did appear to be that way in those matches. You've never had any inkling of the Murky coming out then?
Zero.
No idea the Murky. Don't know if we
Not
were.
a-
I think we were valid in our thinking, not thinking the Murky, but you always get thrown curveballs.
Yeah, indeed. You do always get thrown curveballs. That's what makes the curveballs are the spice of hots, I believe is how the saying goes.
Yeah. Yeah,
And-
I think Sergeant Hammer caught the full effect of what they were going
Yes.
for in mid. It looked like I want to see that on the replay.
He's like,
Yes.
I'll go push mid by myself.
I was hoping to have him here to talk about just what he was going through in that moment, but no, that was.
me. Yeah,
Oh,
me.
that was you. Okay, I didn't see you. I thought that was
Yeah.
synthesis.
No, yeah, that was me. Yeah, I realized I couldn't split for the rest of the game, so that was kind of a bummer. But
Yeah.
Got demoted from Sergeant Hammer after that.
I've never been more confident in my death, though. I called it from about, I think, 3 seconds before I died. I'm like, guys, there's no way.
Yeah. They, as I said at the end of the game, who truly won that match? Was it the team who won the game, or was it the team who executed their strategy to perfection?
Yeah.
Valid point.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, we were debating whether we needed to run bots, since normally when somebody dies, it's kind of scary to be down there 4-on-3. But we also had heard that they used all of their ults, so
Yes.
you're like, "Man, maybe it's safe to stay there." Actually, I don't know.
Yes.
It's like, guys, all of their ults are gone. Like everything is down. I think they just have taunt left or something. It's like, fair enough.
Yes. Yeah. But you guys played
Yeah.
that game very cleanly. I thought the control over the bottom fort and the sapper camps was quite well executed. And it turned into a 40-0 for you. But
True. Yeah.
That was
In-
weird.
Yeah.
At the end of it, yeah, I did forget. That might be the first one I personally have been able to achieve in NGS. So that was fun. Very rare right now. So yeah, that was a good game for us. I think
an eventful game for both teams, I think it's safe to say.
For sure.
And in game 2, what were the thoughts running through your head as you saw a stun pick and then another stun pick and then a double stun tank? And then what was that like?
Yeah, we saw
little
the
worried.
Aether early, and I think our thought was to try to get just like as much sustained late game damage as possible and just kind of try to hold on until 20. Basically, that just don't fight, get Phala stacks, get Nazeebo stacked, and should be fine. But they were pretty all in on us occasionally. Like, it looked like Malthael was doing work. Like, they killed him a few times, but he was doing Mongo damage before he went down, it looked like. So we were able to
Yes.
sort of at
Yes.
least trade or something in those fights, it seemed like to me. I don't know. I always like to watch the game after, because in the moment it just feels like pure chaos. Where like seeing everybody's getting stunned and dying. I'm just like spamming Qs on people, trying to keep people alive. But
Yeah, certainly I can see that game being especially chaotic from a healer perspective. Especially once you are in the late game and you have Wrath of the Angiris and Cocoon and all of that to contend with. But
Right.
yeah, they nearly got the drop on you guys a couple of times there with turning those fights into sudden 5v3s with the Cocoon. But
Yep.
Yeah, you played pretty well, I would say, especially you, Randy, on the Tyrande, managing to keep your teammates alive until backup could arrive.
Hmm.
And the item control also, I believe, played very heavily in your favor that game.
Yeah, we did a pretty good job of that, and like we got like an early lead. I mean, that map can be so snowbally because I noticed like we had 7 at the beginning and they were still not quite there. So we kind of had control of the positioning, and so then they had to fight into us, which helps a lot. And then like it looked like they almost got the Nazebo towards the end, but at that point they were down 3 levels, I think. So those fights are just hard when you're down that much and able to just barely keep them alive and turn it around and win there. Yeah, yeah. Once you kind of get a level lead, then they can't really fight over their turret camp because they're downtown tiers. So you get all their turrets, your turrets, the bio camp. Then like the fights are really, really hard when you're down items and levels. So, and then
Yes.
our 20s were really strong between Azevo and Farflight Vala. So the game, it seemed tough for them. As long as we survived kind of the beginning part, I think we did a pretty good job of, even if we lost a few people, it's fine. Just don't lose a ton of people and
Yes.
lose structures.
Did you hit viral infection on time? I was not paying attention to that. I had many other things to look at.
I don't know if he did on time, but that was, I believe he finished it when he kind of got caught out there at level 20 a little bit. And
I see.
that's why he got caught out because he was trying to get the last stack. I think he said he was 1 short or something.
Classic. Yes.
Well, because we saw, I mean, I saw him out there on the map. I'm just like, oh my God, you guys come back. What are you doing out there in the cocoon? They're going to cocoon you, man. He's like running, and then I just see like 4 orange dots converging on him on the mini map. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But it ended up being a pretty good fight for us in the end.
Yeah. Yeah, the police arrived a little too late to save the hostage, but just in time to make sure the criminals paid for it.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, that would be another interesting one to see in the VOD to see exactly where they were when that happened. Because
Yes,
I was
I
very scared for him being out that far when I didn't see anybody on the map, and then all of a sudden I saw everybody on the map.
yeah, I had close eyes on
uh,
that. It was certainly an entertaining sequence of events.
yeah.
So, how are you guys looking forward to the playoffs then? Here, are you you have any teams that you're excited to fight? Any teams you're intimidated by? Any big matches coming up?
Yeah, one of you guys want to take it? Yeah, Carissa.
I mean, surely we scale was the only team that not dominated, but 2-1 us. We think Frankfurters is, well, they're obviously second place, and they're, I think, our biggest challenge looking forward.
Mhm.
It'll be an interesting tournament, that's for sure. But I think we can take it all this year, and looking forward to doing so.
Excellent.
Yeah, those games
There's-
have all been pretty good games, I think. So
I think,
100%.
yeah, Chile with Scale was the one team that beat us, so obviously that would be something we want to have a second crack at. I think the team to look out for is Bad Rats, though. I think they're going to be I think they're going to surprise a lot of people.
Yeah,
I have some friends that I played with a few seasons ago that know what they're doing, but they've been playing WoW. They've been some WoW degenerates for a few seasons of NGS and have been away, and they got some more of their WoW degenerate friends, and I think they're figuring it out. So I think they're going to be the scary team in the playoffs.
Yeah.
dark horse team, huh?
we dominated them, but they gave us a good fight. Like it was close for sure.
So that'd be interesting. Yeah, that's I think number 2. Of course,
Yeah.
we're number 1. But that'd be my number 2.
I was gonna say, I feel like we've won a lot of games, but they haven't all been like super convincing domination. I feel like a lot of them have come down to one last fight, and we've come out on top, fortunately. So, like any team could still give us a hard time in playoffs. I don't know.
Agreed.
But yeah, it's always fun to see them again after you kind of can analyze how the first games went. Like I remember surely we scale like the double bruiser kind of stuff, and we seemed like we dealt with the double bruiser here tonight pretty well. So I don't know. I think every team's probably evolved over the course of a season, so it's kind of fun in playoffs to get a second crack at everybody. And I'm sure there's a lot of teams wanting a second shot at us. So,
Certainly shaping up to be a good bracket to close this season out. I think that Division C is quite strong this go round.
yeah.
You guys have any last things to say? Any shout outs you want to give?
Certainly shout out to you for casting it. So we're
Yep,
excited
yeah.
to go back and watch the VOD. Yeah, thanks for doing that. It was fun to battle our brother or sister team here in the last round of the regular season, and yeah, maybe we can try to meet up with them and all watch the VOD or something together. I don't know. It would be kind of fun. Thanks to NGS for always putting on good seasons. There's been a lot of competitive, fun games. Thanks to all the Gregonite fans out there for supporting us.
You have a... Oh, this is new? Wow. This is advanced. You have your own branding now. Okay.
That's right. Gregonites.
Okay, yes.
There's dozens of us.
Yeah, I'll get the shirts printed.
Maybe half dozens of us. I don't know.
It's a
yeah,
thing. Yep.
good games to our opponents here. Heavy Group Therapy. They put up some interesting comps for sure that we were scratching our heads at and not sure how to deal with exactly. So that's always fun. We love that, the sort of problem solving, puzzle solving aspect of the NGS where you do the scouting and try to figure out how you're gonna play chess against them, and that was fun. I don't know, so thank you for your coaching this season and all of your advice and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, we're trying to figure out, I guess, with the patch too, that it's fun that HOTS, has patches coming up into playoffs, changes the meta a little bit, and sort of invigorated us to try some new stuff here. Try to understand
bro.
and our it's,
More patches than Dota in 2024.
Okay, well, there we go.
Game is more live than Dota. You heard it here first.
Game's alive. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's been fun. So yeah, thanks for casting.
Yep.
And thanks to Gart, one of the Gregonites I was talking about, has a
Yeah. We have a guest appearance.
Yeah.
I'm here for moral
Gregonites are
support.
legion. Yeah, that's fantastic. All right.
Unfortunately, the cost of moral support is a slight distraction.
Okay. I think we can bear it. Thank you guys for putting up a fun match to watch, and I look forward to seeing how you perform in the playoffs.
Us too.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thanks. All
I will
right.
catch you
Take
later.
care.
All right. So that brings our stream to a close. Didn't have anything else planned for tonight. This was a bit of a spur-of-the-moment thing. I was only aware a week or two back that Group Therapy and Greg were going up against each other this week. And, well, hence why Aliobs was busted. If I cast another game this season, which I likely might, I will ensure that's fixed. Anyways, I hope that all of you at home had as much fun with the series as I did, and my team will also be having a game in T-2 days, day after tomorrow, at roughly the same time it is right now. 8:30 p.m., I believe, Mountain Time, which is 7:30 Pacific and 10:30 Eastern. And for anybody who is up for that, some people that are playing in that game are in the chat right now, I think. I will see you there. And I will see anybody else who wishes to watch either that or any future casts I do, if and when such events should occur. For now, I will